Hello to you and welcome back to Relationships at Work, your leadership guide to building workplace connections and avoiding blind spots. I'm your host, Russell Lolliker, communications leadership expert, couple of decades of experience in both those areas and a whole heap of curiosity, just like you, on how we can make the workplace better. It's Thursday. That means if you look at the calendar, yep, time for another mini episode. Quick, valuable bits of information to help your mindset for the week ahead. These are all, of course, inspired by our Raw Note newsletter, which you can always sign up, always for free. It's right there, russelllolliker.com or relationshipsatworkshow.com. Just follow all the prompts. If you look at the very top, it'll say, sign up here. And there you go. Nice and in your inbox. Nice and easy. However, today we're focusing on something very specific. Leadership saying is not leadership doing. Employees often try to stay positive when they hear a leader say they're going to do something, that they're working on something, or they're addressing an issue, especially when it's a long-standing concern for them. We're discussing it. At least we're having the conversation. We have a meeting about it next week. Any of these sound familiar? Employees hear these statements and they try to stay hopeful. They do. But as leaders, we really have to understand that talking isn't doing. Telling our team or organization that we're going to take action is not the same as actually moving the needle and demonstrating effort. And talking, I'm sorry, it's not effort. Too often, we as leaders mistake communication or the promise of action as progress. It's not. It's jazz hands. It's spirit fingers. It's placation. Do any of these scenarios sound familiar to you? Maybe it's something we've said or even heard before. So for example, we're resolving a workload issue. I'll look into hiring more people to lighten the load. You know what we're going to do? We're going to redistribute responsibilities to balance workloads better. Hey, we're going to start saying no to additional duties if it gets to be too much. How about this one? Addressing toxic behavior. We won't tolerate negativity or poor behavior. I'll deal with it immediately. I'll have a conversation with that individual about their conduct. Or, my favorite, don't worry about it's being taken care of. And then nothing happens. And lastly, feedback loops. I want to hear your ideas. I'll get back to you about that suggestion really soon. But nothing happens. It's all talk. Because in those scenarios, a lot of the time, workloads don't change. Toxic behavior continues, and employees still don't feel heard. Doing is doing. Talking is just talking. Employees bring history into their expectations of their leaders. Have they heard these promises before with no progress? Even if it wasn't us as leaders who said those words, the lingering memory of previous leaders and their unfulfilled promises fuels the "we've heard this before" feeling. This is where relationships erode. Trust is lost in that gap between words said and actions taken or not taken. The bigger the chasm, the more trust dissolves. And the only trust that remains is employees trusting that leaders won't actually follow through. So let's raise the question. How can we, as leaders, ensure our words align with our actions to maintain those trusted relationships? Well, let's pull an example out from what I mentioned earlier. How about resolving workload issues? Okay, so first, we need to create a transparent plan with set timelines. This is what we're going to do. This is when we're going to do it by. Here's going to be the result. Here's the follow-up, right? Specificity and transparency, they actually build credibility. Employees trust leaders who not only acknowledge issues, but also outline clear steps to resolve them. We then need to share progress regularly with those updates, even if the outcome isn't final. Let employees know where things stand and what's coming up next. Here's an example. By the end of the month, I'll work with each team to assess workloads and identify areas where we can redistribute tasks or hire additional support. So we've said it. Now we have to show them what we're doing and by when and follow up. Even if we don't hit the targets and the milestones that we're laying out, we need to communicate that too. A second thing we should do is make employees part of the solution. Because when employees are involved in the process, they're more likely to trust the outcomes and believe in our commitment to change. Collaboration ensures the process isn't happening in some black box, but with their participation where they can see the opportunities and the challenges. So why not, in this example, create task forces or committees to explore and propose solutions to workload challenges? Another thing, model the behavior that we expect. Actions speak louder than words. Wonder why that's a reoccurring comment. Employees look to leadership to set the tone for accountability and behavior. We know this. So we need to hold ourselves accountable by sharing our own progress or challenges in achieving those goals. And last, measure the progress, share the results. Employees trust what they can see and what can be measured. By regularly tracking progress and sharing outcomes, it demonstrates accountability and it reinforces that their concerns are being addressed. So here's an example. Share metrics like average hours worked, task distribution, or new hires. Highlight specific changes made to alleviate the burdens. Check in, see if they're working or not. How does that sound? Employees aren't naive. They're not. They know they're just being told what they want to hear a lot of the time. Well, words are important for raising awareness. I'm a communications nerd. I understand the value of words, but it's our actions that define the quality of our leadership and our commitment to building trust with our teams, our employees, and the organization. Great relationships at work aren't built by words. They are backed by action. Just a quick one today. It's Relationships at Work, your leadership guide to building workplace connections and avoiding blind spots. Thank you for spending that time with me. My name is Russell Lawliker. I always enjoy it every time. I hope you find this podcast valuable. If you think others will find it valuable, just share it with one other person that you think, needs to hear this, whether they know this already and need it reinforced, or it's new information to help their mindset in their own challenges. We're all going through this as leaders. We all have our challenges, and we really need to fight that loneliness that a lot of us feel when we're not being supported. So it's really helpful to hear when other people are going through it, even if it's the same challenges, even if it's the same wins, whatever it might be. All right, you have yourself a great day, and I look forward to talking to you again. Take care.